Tabitha. Today I'm going to be talking about just what it's like to be a drama teacher, specifically during this time. I want to preface this by saying, first of all, I have been so incredibly blessed. It's one of those weird times where everybody has been affected. I don't think anybody has been completely untouched, or that their life is completely like the way it used to be before the pandemic hit. So I don't want to act like I've been affected more than people. I definitely have not. I am also very lucky that I still have my job and that hasn't really been a problem so far. And same thing with my husband. We are both really blessed that we've been able to keep our jobs and that financial worries haven't been a thing so far during the pandemic. So I know that there are so many more people that have been way more affected than me in way more drastic and dramatic ways. So in no way is this a video of me throwing a pity party and saying, woe is me. It's just showing specifically from a drama teacher perspective how COVID has affected my day-to-day and how it affects how I view my job and how it affects my school environment and beyond that. Just like everybody else, when all of this first started, I didn't think too much about it. I mean, I didn't take it super seriously when I first heard about it. And then, obviously, like everybody else, it started getting more and more real. But it was still a huge shock when on March 13th, everything went down, at least in my state, Virginia, where I am. So as a drama teacher, my perspective is one of the first big thing that happened to me as far as the pandemic was concerned is that my show was canceled. And honestly, it was really dramatic in the school just simply because March 13th was the day of our show. So we were putting on The Wizard of Oz. And we were very lucky in that we got to perform the show for everyone in the school on March 12th. So on March 12th, everybody in the school got to see our show. So the show did exist. I feel peace in the fact that the whole school community did get to see the show, and the kids did know what it felt like to have an audience and to show everybody what we've been working on for the whole year. And it is kind of bittersweet that the last time our school was all together in one room was watching the show. It's just a nice little memory I have of just before everything crazy happened, everybody being together, everybody being happy and enjoying The Wizard of Oz, and it was just such a great day. So while I am sad that that was the last time, even to this day, that our whole school has been together like that, I am glad that it was something that I got to be a part of, and it was something that my students in the play created for everybody. So that's something that they should be proud of too. And then on March 13th, that was the day of the actual show for the community and the parents, and that was all supposed to happen on the evening of March 13th. It's all my fault because it was a Friday the 13th, and I'm one of the few not superstitious theater people, and it came back to bite me. So I guess I'm going to be superstitious for the rest of my life now. Around midday, our governor made the call that all schools in Virginia were going to close. And then, of course, our show got canceled. So it got canceled hours before the show was supposed to happen. The hardest day as far as my career as a teacher has been concerned, and it was only my third year of teaching last year and everything, so I'm not saying like, oh, in 20 years of teaching this was the hardest day. No, it's only been 3 years at that point, but still it was pretty dramatic for me. Drama teachers, if you're watching, you know specifically how much work we put into our shows every year and how much of our heart we put into our shows every year and how much we actually care. I know for some people, if they have to put on a play or at their job, or if they have to do anything big like that, sometimes it seems like an inconvenience, or, oh, this is this big thing I have to do and it takes up all my time and energy. It's not something I have to do. It's something I want to do. It's something that I love to do. It is the reason I became a drama teacher. It is something I need to do, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I would do it for free. So just letting you know how much putting on shows with kids means to me. So when I found out it was canceled, my own heart broke. It wasn't just the kids' heart breaking. And the reason I'm saying that is because I feel like teachers were supposed to be the strong ones, and it's all about, oh, the kids are heartbroken. I'm going to be flat out honest and tell you all that I was completely heartbroken myself as an adult. And it was just a really hard day because there was a point in time where I wasn't ready to tell the kids yet, but that I knew the show was canceled. And kids were still walking up to me in the hallways. A kid dropped off their DVD form to buy the DVD for the show, which I eventually gave back to everybody. But I just felt like it was kind of like a surreal experience where it's like, they all think that it's happening and I know it's not, and it's kind of heartbreaking. And then I had them all come to my classroom, and obviously, like everybody else, we didn't know what was going on. We didn't know how long this would be, that schools would be closed, and we had no idea that it would be closed for the rest of the school year. So initially, it was just 2 weeks. So I told them all, okay, our show is postponed. We're not going to be in school for 2 weeks. This is to keep everyone safe. They cried, I cried, and yes, I'm going to admit it, I cried in front of my kids. I didn't want to, but I couldn't help it. And you know what? I'm not even regretting it anymore, because you know what? I think it was important for them to see that my heart was broken. It was important for me to show them how much I cared. And it was important, I think in general, kids everywhere are realizing that this is a point in time where even adults don't know what's going on. And even adults are scared. So I just think that it was one of those moments where I knew that I couldn't fix it for them, and it broke my heart. So it was a moment, and I hugged everyone. I wish I would have hugged them a little tighter. I didn't realize it would be my last time seeing them or being able to hug kids. And it just started off the whole quarantine time on a really awkward note. And as far as teaching went for the rest of the school year, I know that a lot of teachers of any subject can relate to the fact of, we don't really know what we're doing. We were not prepared for this. We did what we could. We sent lessons for the kids to do, fun drama activities for parents that needed to keep their kids occupied while they were at home. For us specifically, we didn't hear that much from that many students, and we were doing work and I was doing work, but it was a hard feeling to feel like you couldn't talk to your kids, to feel like you didn't know if they were actually doing the things that you were sending, and to feel like, okay, am I able to help them in any way during this time? So it was a really hard time. And on a side note, as a performer, I had a show that was canceled myself as well. I was supposed to play Little Red Riding Hood because I'm an adult. I was supposed to play Little Red Riding Hood in a production of Into the Woods, and that got canceled. That was supposed to be like the next week. So a lot of things were supposed to happen for me in March. So that was supposed to happen. So that got canceled. We were just about to start Tech Week. And so far it's being postponed to April, so we'll see if that can happen. That would be really nice if I at least got closure for that experience, because it was very nice. It was going to be a great show. And then fast forward to this school year, it's hard to not be planning a show. And it's funny because I do have people coming up to me going like, oh, well, at least you don't have to plan a show. I'm sure that's a weight off your shoulders. That's not what it feels like. It feels like a piece of my heart. Like I can't do what I want to do. I feel like I'm letting the kids down, even though I know it's not my fault. Like, I can't change the situation. But I'm really sad. I am sad. And I think as drama teachers, as theater people, we're very resilient. Like, we're the ones that say the show must go on. If we need money, we fundraise. If we need anything, like, we'll get understudies if someone gets sick. People perform even if there's snow days. Like, we're gonna make shows happen. And this was the first time where it was like, I feel like my hands are tied and I'm trapped and I can't. There's nothing I can do to fix this situation. As far as ways to keep our program alive during this time, I started a 4th grade virtual drama club. So we meet on Google Meet, and so we're doing Jack and the Beanstalk, a radio play. And this was found in Drama Notebook, which is a really good resource for drama teachers. It's a lot of nice, cute, small plays that don't take a lot of work, like huge musicals. And they have radio plays, and the best part is you don't have to buy rights, so they're free. So that's amazing. So especially now, because I love doing real big shows that you buy rights and you it's a big show. I don't like canned musicals. However, this year I was not in the mood to get risky. I was not in the mood to spend a lot of money on something, especially when something could get canceled. And that's where I'm talking about Little T trauma. It's like, I don't want something like last year to happen again. I don't want things to be canceled. I don't think I could take that. So let's just do something that is online that we could do even if we all closed again, and we could still make happen. So that's what we're doing. It's a short radio play that we're going to be doing online, and I'll be recording it, and it'll be like a virtual show that I can show people rather than anything with an audience. I know a lot of other drama teachers are finding other creative ways to put on shows, whether it be doing outdoor theater or live streaming their performances. Specifically because of the protocols in my district right now, I can't even do a live stream performance. I can't really get kids together that aren't in the same class. I can't really do much in person after school. So that's why the radio play is what I went with, just because it's easy, it's free, and my heart's not gonna be broken if something happens with it. And honestly, I don't think it could happen no matter what. And as far as lessons are concerned, so my district, we're actually working on a hybrid model. So kids have been coming into school a couple of times a week, but we only ever have half the school at one time. So I know specials teachers, you guys know that specials teachers, we repeat the same lessons a lot. Well, now it's like double, just because there's A days and B days, so it just takes so much longer to get through one lesson, so you kind of feel like a robot at the end of it. As far as changing lessons to fit with COVID, I think the hardest thing that I have had, the hardest obstacle have been that a lot of my lessons involve props. And I love giving the kids props, and I love telling them, oh, hey, create a scene and you can use whatever you want. Especially now that I'm on the stage, I have all my props in my closet. I'm like, oh, I wish I could just let them have everything and we could just play with props and make shows for ourselves in class. And I can't really have them touching the same things, which is upsetting, but obviously for safety. A lot of my lessons involved people working in groups to create a scene, and I haven't really been able to do that. Drama teachers, if you are able to figure out a way to have kids socially distanced but working in small groups, let me know. But I've had either people do things individually or maybe in pairs but without practicing. Like I'll say, okay, you practice by yourself and now do it on both sides of the room, but I don't let them practice together. So yeah, just changing some lessons to fit things around. But there are lessons that I have been able to keep that have made me feel some sort of normalcy. I have, for those of you, if you watch my classroom tour, I have cushions spread out throughout my classroom, and that's where kids sit or stand. So I have had kids be able to stand and move in place. So a lot of my movement activities have been great. They've been fine. It's just that the kids stay in their spot, but they can still move, they can still have fun, and I feel like now they're even more excited for those activities just because they are moving a lot less in general, because they're always aware of their position because they're not allowed to get close to each other. Last thing I wanted to talk about in this video, I recently went through a bit of a sad point when the Broadway shutdown was extended. And yes, I was sad. We had tickets to see Hamilton and Company, the female version of Company. And we had tickets for May that we got in Christmas. And we were just so excited for it. We had waited so long to see Hamilton. And we finally, it finally happened that we got tickets. And it was just like, oh my gosh, can't believe this happened. And it's not just that I'm sad that I can't see Hamilton. I realized what was getting me down is just the fear that a lot of things are going back to normal in a way, and the fear that if the arts are the last thing to go back to normal, I guess I have a fear that society will feel like they don't need the arts just because, oh, well, we have our doctors and we have our restaurants and we have our bars, we have churches. If the only thing missing is the arts, I'm afraid that people won't appreciate it as much. And honestly, when the Broadway shutdown was extended all the way into next summer, I was like, oh my goodness, that's a long time without Broadway. And it's a long time. I think Broadway kind of symbolizes like the top of theater, at least, and it's what we all look to. And yeah, I mean, it's true that Broadway will probably be the last to come back as far as theater is concerned. I'm sure like community theaters and maybe schools will be able to put on shows before Broadway, just because Broadway is so big with the audience so huge. But still, it's like, oh my goodness, like if that doesn't exist, it just starts a weird phenomenon, and you're afraid that people won't find theater important anymore. And when the shutdown was extended, I did cry, and I told my husband, I'm just scared that I'm teaching my kids something that'll be obsolete, or I'm scared that, like for example, I have a third grade musical theater unit that I teach the kids, and a lot of it is about Broadway. So me talking about Broadway when Broadway doesn't really exist right now, it's just such a weird feeling. It's really sad. Just to end on a hopeful note, what I hope happens is that instead of society appreciating the arts less, that we feel its absence more, and that we realize how much we need it emotionally, how much we need it as a society. And I think I'm making it my mission to make sure that the kids feel that the arts are still alive. And you know what? The arts are still alive. They're alive here in my classroom. And it's kind of a weird feeling to feel like it's one of the few places where the arts are alive. Yesterday we had a lesson where 2 kids were just acting out a skit, and we were all watching. I'm like, in the world right now, this is one of the few places people can watch a skit. I guess all I can do is keep the arts alive, at least in this room. And I'm thankful for all of the other drama teachers who are keeping the arts alive in their rooms, or if you're teaching completely virtual, that you are keeping the arts alive online for your kids, whatever you're doing virtual, all the crazy things that y'all are doing on Zoom or any other video platform, we're finding ways to keep the arts alive. I do know that the kids love it, and I do know that the kids miss things. I know that they miss doing the musical. I know that Hamilton came out on Disney Plus, and kids are obsessed with it now. And I want to find those moments where I remind myself that it's not hopeless, that the arts will come back. It just won't come back as soon as we thought it would. It might not come back the way we thought it would, but it's not dead. I can't let myself think it's dead. And I know that I'm teaching my kids something that will help them for the rest of their lives, and that will be part of their lives forever. I don't want to feel like I'm teaching them a dying art. It's something that should be around for the rest of their lives. And you know what? Maybe I'm not teaching the next performers or the next directors or choreographers, but I want to at least know that I am teaching the next lawyer, doctor, teacher, mother, father, person, human that values the arts. And I want them to grow up knowing that the arts are important, and to never support anything that would take the arts away, and to always fight for the arts. It took an emotional turn, I don't know. But anyway, so that's COVID in the head of a drama teacher, and a specific drama teacher. I know everybody has been thinking differently. If you watch this whole video, thank you so much for listening to my ramblings about the pandemic. If you're a drama teacher and you're going through something different, or you're going through some hopelessness right now, I totally see you. I totally relate. And if you have any words of encouragement for me, please put them in the comments below. Or if you need words of encouragement, please put them down below, and I will try to encourage you, or maybe others can encourage you too. But we will get through this together, and the arts will come back. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.